My son brought home a permission slip for a field trip to my workplace, where I told him I died. When Liam handed me the crumpled permission slip on Tuesday evening, I felt the ground shift beneath my feet. "Dad, we're going to the Natural History Museum next week," he said, already halfway to the kitchen for a snack. "You need to sign this. The Natural History Museum, where I'd worked as a senior conservator for 8 years, where my ex-wife Beatrice believed I still worked, where my 12-year-old son thought his mother worked alone because I told him I was dead. I know how that sounds. Let me explain, though nothing makes it better. Beatrice and I divorced when Liam was 3. It was bitter, complicated, involved lawyers and custody battles that drained us both. She got primary custody. I got every other weekend and Wednesday dinners. Standard arrangement for a father the court deemed emotionally unstable after my breakdown. The breakdown happened after my younger brother died. I fell apart completely. Couldn't work for months. Said things during the custody hearing that made me sound unfit. The judge was sympathetic but cautious. Limited custody. Supervised at first. I pulled myself together. Got therapy. Managed my grief. Started rebuilding my relationship with Liam during those precious structured hours. But Beatrice had moved on, remarried, created a stable home I visited like a ghost every other weekend. Then 5 years ago, I got the job offer in Seattle. Department head of conservation at the Burke Museum. Dream position. Career-defining opportunity. 3,000 miles from Philadelphia where Liam lived. I made a choice I've regretted every single day since. I told Beatrice I was taking the job. We'd modify custody. I'd visit when possible. We'd make it work. She was furious but resigned. Then I told Liam something unforgivable. I told him I was very sick, that the doctor said I didn't have much time, that I loved him more than anything, but I had to go away for treatment. I made it sound gentle, inevitable, not scary. 6 months later, Beatrice called to tell Liam that I'd passed away peacefully. I'd written her a script. Asked her to say I'd been thinking of him at the end. She'd agreed because she thought it was kinder than abandonment, cleaner than explaining why his father chose a job over him. The funeral was fake. The grief was real. Liam's and my own for the relationship I'd murdered. I sent child support through an offshore account Beatrice accessed. Generous amounts that funded Liam's private school, his music lessons, his life. Money laundered through my guilt. Meanwhile, I excelled in Seattle. Published papers, restored artifacts, built a reputation. Lived alone in an apartment overlooking Puget Sound, looking at photos of a son who thought I was dead. Then last year, Beatrice got the job offer she couldn't refuse. Senior curator position at the Natural History Museum in Philadelphia. The museum where I'd worked before Seattle, where some staff still remembered me. She'd called to tell me. Worried about the coincidence. I'd assured her I was careful, that my Seattle position was secure, that our paths wouldn't cross. Except now they were about to. I looked at the permission slip, 5th grade field trip, behind-the-scenes tour of the conservation lab, led by senior curator Beatrice Chen and her team. My hands shook as I signed it. What choice did I have? I called in sick to the Burke Museum and booked a red-eye to Philadelphia. Arrived the night before the field trip and checked into a hotel 3 blocks from the museum. The next morning I waited outside the Natural History Museum in a rental car, watching the school bus arrive. Watched Liam climb off with his classmates, backpack slung over one shoulder, laughing at something his friend said. He'd grown so much. Tall like me now. Same dark hair. Same way of pushing his glasses up his nose when he was excited. I watched them file into the museum. Watched Beatrice greet the group at the entrance. Professional and warm. Watched my son walk into a building full of my former colleagues. Into labs where my photographs might still hang on staff walls. I sat in that car for 3 hours. When the bus finally departed, Liam emerged safe and happy, chattering with friends about dinosaur bones and ancient pottery. That night, I called Beatrice from the hotel. "I can't do this anymore," I said. "Liam needs to know I'm alive." The silence lasted forever. "You made your choice, Vincent. You chose to be dead. I chose wrong. I was a coward, but he deserves the truth. The truth will destroy him. You died 5 years ago. His grief is processed. You want to resurrect yourself now? For what? Your guilt?" She wasn't wrong, but she wasn't completely right either. We talked through the night, argued, cried, reached no conclusions. I flew back to Seattle the next morning. The permission slip is still in my wallet, signed in handwriting my son would never recognize. I don't know what happens next. Maybe I stay dead. Maybe that's the kindest thing. Maybe I'm just a coward looking for redemption I don't deserve. What I know is this. I saw my son yesterday, alive and thriving and surrounded by people who love him, including a mother who's been there every single day while I've been playing dead 3,000 miles away. The field trip went fine. No one recognized his last name. No old colleagues made connections. My secret held for one more day. But I'm tired of being a ghost. I'm tired of funding a life I'm not part of. I'm tired of the lie. Liam turns 13 next month. Maybe that's when I tell him. Maybe I wait until he's 18. Maybe I never tell him and live with this guilt until it's not a lie anymore. I brought him into this world. Then I left it voluntarily. Coming back might be the cruelest thing I could do. Or maybe staying gone is crueler. I genuinely don't know anymore.